Hi guys, my name is Bianca and welcome to my channel. So today this video is going to be a little bit different to what I usually do. I usually just sit in front of the camera and just talk to you guys about where I'm at with my writing, but I haven't done a writing vlog in ages. Life has been pretty hectic and busy, so I thought that I would do one for you guys today. So I'm currently working on the second draft of book 2. And this experience has been quite different to what book 1 was like. I think because I actually planned out book 2, things have just seemed a lot more smoother. I remember when I was starting to read some of the first chapters that I wrote in book 2, I was like, oh, this actually sounds alright. So I know that my writing has improved and my book is on track. I actually don't think that it's going to take as much drafts as what book 1 took to get it done. I still think it needs work, but it's not going to really take as long because everything is ordered, there's a sequence of events that happen in the book and everything is much more structured. I have a little helper here today. I don't know who can see, but that's Bodhi, and he usually sits with me while I work on my writing and he's great company. But right now I've got up my document for book 2. And it's just in the standard Word document and it's 110 pages. So it's more words than what the original book is at. I know it's changed along the way when I've been editing. So right now I'm on page 70. So I've been powering through this second draft. I've been trying to get a certain amount of pages done per day and I'm on page 72 right now. But I've noticed that like when I started the beginning of this editing, there wasn't as much that needed to be done at the beginning. I felt like that standard of quality of work was better. But now that I'm getting to the middle of the book, I always start struggling. I don't know whether this is because I'm losing motivation or it's because the writing isn't as good. I'm not quite sure. I'm just noticing that the writing doesn't seem to flow as well. I'm really having trouble connecting some of the paragraphs together. And I'm actually wondering too whether some of these scenes actually fit in with the storyline. So the scene that I'm working on right now is a date scene. And it feels a bit out of place in the mood of the book because the mood of the book is sort of tense. Like the main character, Simone, she's always on edge because she's always, you know, expecting something to happen or something like bad to come about. So to have a date scene, it's a bit contradictory. I'm wondering whether I should put it in there, but I'm really not sure. I actually ended up deleting a whole big part of a chapter because I felt like it wasn't working and my main character was coming across as unlikable and really negative. So I deleted it and now I'm on to another scene where I feel like, yeah, it doesn't fit the story and it's been really hard editing. Oh my god, I forgot how hard editing is. Because like I went through the process so much of book 1 and now I'm doing it at book 2 and it's like, oh my god, all over again. But book 1 is not done yet. So I'm waiting on the offer copy of Perfectly Fractured and I don't want to just sit here and wait for it. I may as well work on book 2 while I'm waiting. So yeah, that's why I'm working on it. When I worked on the first draft of book 2, I separated all the scenes, not into chapters, but with dot sort of point things. And I've noticed that that's worked out a lot better for the chapters, but there's probably a lot more chapters than what there was in my first book. And the first part of the book, I've noticed that they're quite short chapters, like very readable chapters. I actually prefer them being quite short. Then I have noticed that the further we get into the book, the chapters are actually larger. There's one chapter that's got like 5,000 words, which is big for a chapter, considering some of my other chapters only have 1,500 to like 2,500 words. And I remember struggling to edit my first book with the chapters that had a lot of words. It was just very taxing, and I think it might be a bit more taxing for people to read as well. So I don't think I'm going to split them up, but it just throws off the flow of the book a little. I usually use music to edit it as well, and with my first book I think I listened a lot to Harry Styles, Ariana Grande, Lana Del Rey, those sort of artists, and I could just listen to them in the background and it would keep me really focused on my editing. but I'm having a much harder time finding music to actually go with what I'm writing, what I'm editing right now. Taylor Swift's new album came out, Folklore, and I adore it. I think it's a really great album. And I find that when I actually put on this album, I really struggle to focus because I'm so intent on listening to the lyrics and the words of the song that I can't really multitask in my writing, where I could do that with the other music that I was listening to in book one. So I'm having a problem with that. I need to be able to listen to this album without getting sidetracked by the story that Taylor's telling in her songs and focus on the story that I'm writing and editing. So I'm working on that. I'm maybe gonna just keep on listening to it until I can actually focus. I even noticed too that where I was getting onto a scene that needed a lot of editing and lots of chopping and changing, I actually had to pause the song. I had to turn it off because I'm like, I can't focus. Like, it's almost impossible. I could try listening to some of the other artists that I've listened to before, but then I've got to feel like I'm in the mood to listen to them. So I'm still working on finding the right playlist for book 2. I'm going to get stuck into editing and I'll see you in a little bit. You know what feels really strange? Is having to write like a cutesy scene, even though the feeling of the book overall isn't really all that cutesy. So it's hard for me to lighten up the mood of the book, even though there are like so many dark themes, and it doesn't really feel like it fits. But then I feel like you need that light in the book, otherwise the book would just get depressing. And I really want to give my characters some happiness. I really hope that I don't have to cut this scene. I think it's a really important scene between my characters, and then I'd feel bad if I did cut it. It doesn't, I'm trying to think, it doesn't contribute that much to the main storyline, but then I feel like it does contribute to the relationship between my characters. So I really want to keep this scene, but then a part of me thinks that I'm just going to cut it out, and then the word count's going to go down. And then my story's gonna be dark. But no, it's not even that dark. It's just some of the stuff that happens just isn't that happy. And I want my characters to have just a little bit of happiness. Looks like Brody's going back to sleep. Such a cute bugger. I think he's tired. But I'm gonna leave him and I'm gonna keep on editing. I've just finished my editing for the day. I don't know whether I probably haven't got as much done as what I wanted to, but I'll keep persevering. I'm not in a huge rush to get this book done. It'd just be nice to meet some of the daily goals that I have set for book 2, because the quicker that I get this done, then the quicker I can get it out to all of you guys. But that's all I have for you guys today. If any of you have any questions for me, drop them down in the comments down below. And if you're interested in more writing related videos, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching.